Marcus Chen pushed his cleaning cart down the long hallway of Zenith Station's executive tower. His shift started at midnight, when all the important aliens went home. That was fine with him. He preferred the quiet. The fluorescent lights hummed above him as he mopped the pristine floors that barely needed cleaning. Rich aliens liked everything perfect, even if no one would see it. His daughter Emma sat on a bench nearby, doing homework on her tablet. She was 8 years old with messy brown hair and tired eyes. Marcus hated bringing her to work, but tonight the babysitter canceled at the last minute. Single fathers did what they had to do. "Dad, can we get food soon?" Emma asked, not looking up from her math problems. "Another hour, sweetie? Then we'll hit the night market on level 12. Marcus had been working as a janitor on Zenith Station for 3 years. Before that, he was an audio engineer on Earth. Good job, nice apartment, beautiful wife. Then the accident happened. Sarah died. The bills piled up. Depression swallowed him whole. When he finally crawled out of that dark hole, he took the first job he could find. That job was here, cleaning floors in space, raising Emma alone. The station was massive. Dozens of alien species lived and worked here. Humans were mostly the labor class. They cleaned, fixed things, served food. The galaxy saw humans as useful but not special. Marcus didn't mind. He just wanted Emma to be safe and fed. Tonight was different, though. The station was hosting some kind of cultural festival. Even at midnight, Marcus could hear distant music and voices. The celebration had gone late. He turned a corner and saw decorations still hanging in the corridors, colorful banners from 100 different worlds. Emma perked up. "Can we go see?" "We're working, Em. Just for 5 minutes, please." Marcus sighed. Emma didn't ask for much. 5 minutes, stay close. They walked toward the sound. The main plaza was still active with late-night revelers. Alien music played from speakers, strange rhythms that hurt Marcus's trained ears. But some humans had set up their own area. Real Earth music drifted from their corner, jazz, rock, electronic beats. Emma's face lit up. "Can I dance?" "Go ahead." Marcus watched his daughter spin and jump to the music. For a moment, she wasn't a kid who lost her mom. She wasn't struggling in school because words got mixed up in her head. She was just happy. That was enough. He didn't notice the other child at first. She stood at the edge of the human area, watching. She was tall, maybe 12, with blue-gray skin and large dark eyes. 4 arms hung at her sides. Voreen, Marcus recognized, one of the wealthier species. Her clothes were expensive, probably cost more than he made in 6 months. But something was wrong. She looked lost, scared. Emma noticed her too. Being Emma, she walked right up to the alien girl and waved. The Voreen child's mouth moved, but no sound came out. Then she made quick gestures with her hands. Sign language. Marcus knew some sign language. He had learned it 2 years ago when Emma's school had a deaf student in her class. He stepped closer. The alien girl was signing that she was lost. Her translator device wasn't working. She couldn't hear. She couldn't call for help. "Hey, it's okay," Marcus said softly, then remembered she couldn't hear him. He signed instead, keeping it simple. "We help you. You safe." The girl's large eyes widened. She signed back frantically. "Lost. Scared. Can't hear them looking." Marcus knelt down to her level. He reached out slowly, the way you approach a frightened animal. His hand touched the side of her head, near where her ear-like organs should be. He was checking if maybe her translator was just loose, if he could fix it. The moment his fingers touched her skin, the Voreen girl gasped. Her whole body went rigid. Her eyes grew impossibly wide. All 4 hands flew to her head, touching where Marcus's hand rested. Then she started crying. But these weren't sad tears. Her face showed wonder, shock, joy. Marcus pulled his hand back, confused. "Are you okay? Did I hurt you?" The girl's mouth moved. She was making sounds, but her translator was still broken, so he couldn't understand. She grabbed at the air where his hand had been, then touched her own head again. She looked at Marcus like he was magic. "Dad, what did you do?" Emma whispered. "I don't know." Security arrived then. 3 large aliens in uniform. They saw Marcus, a human, kneeling next to a Voreen child. They saw the girl crying and making distressed sounds. They didn't ask questions. Rough hands grabbed Marcus and yanked him away from the girl. He hit the ground hard. Emma screamed. The Voreen girl was screaming too, reaching for Marcus, but one guard held her back. "Wait! I was just helping!" Marcus shouted. They didn't listen. One guard had a weapon pointed at him. Another was talking rapidly into a communicator. The girl was signing desperately, but without her translator, the guards couldn't understand her either. More security arrived. Then someone else. The crowd parted for him. He was Voreen like the girl, but older and wearing clothes that screamed power and wealth. His face was carved from ice, cold eyes fixed on Marcus. "What did you do to my daughter?" His voice was quiet, dangerous. "Nothing. She was lost. I was trying to help." The wealthy Voreen looked at his daughter. She was signing so fast her hands blurred. He watched for a moment, then his expression darkened further. "Her translator is broken. Take the human to holding. Check the surveillance footage." "Sir, I didn't hurt her." "My daughter says you touched her. That's enough." They dragged Marcus away. Emma was crying, being held back by another guard. The Voreen girl was still reaching for him, still trying to sign, but her father had already turned away. In the holding cell, Marcus sat with his head in his hands. This was bad, really bad. Assaulting the child of someone important. He'd be lucky if they just deported him. He might never see Emma again. Hours passed, or maybe minutes. Time felt broken. Then the door opened. 2 guards gestured for him to follow. They led him to a luxury suite in the highest part of the executive tower, the kind of place Marcus only entered to clean. The wealthy Voreen sat on an elegant couch. His daughter sat next to him, a new translator device attached to her head. "Sit," the alien said. Marcus sat. "My name is Kael'thar. This is my daughter, Ziara. Security footage shows you touched her head. They also show you were attempting to communicate with her using hand signals. You were not attacking." "No, sir, I was just—" Kael'thar held up a hand. "My daughter has been deaf since birth. Completely. No surgery or technology has helped her, but she insists something impossible happened when you touched her." He looked at Ziara. She nodded and signed, her translator now speaking the words. "I heard. For the first time in my life, I heard." Marcus stared. That's not possible." "I agree," Kael'thar said. "Which is why you're going to touch her again, now, and we'll see if my daughter is confused or if something truly impossible just happened." Marcus looked at the girl. She was watching him with desperate hope. He slowly reached out and placed his hand on the side of her head, near her auditory organs. Ziara's eyes closed. Tears ran down her face. "I hear your breathing," she whispered. "I hear the machines in the walls. I hear my father's heartbeat." She opened her eyes. "I hear music somewhere far away." Kael'thar stood up, all 4 arms trembling. This is not possible. But it was happening. Right in front of him. And Marcus Chen, janitor and single father, had no idea that his simple act of kindness had just changed the entire galaxy. Marcus pulled his hand away slowly. The moment he did, Ziara's face changed. The wonder disappeared. Her shoulders slumped. "It's gone," she signed. The sound stopped. Kael'thar stood frozen. His 4 arms hung at his sides. Marcus had never seen an alien look so shocked. For a long moment, nobody spoke. "Touch her again," Kael'thar finally said. "Sir, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just a janitor. I don't—" Touch her again, please. The please surprised Marcus. Rich aliens didn't say please to humans. He reached out once more. His palm rested against Ziara's head. She gasped again, smiled. I hear it. Your heart. It beats so fast. I'm nervous, Marcus admitted. It's beautiful. Ziara kept her eyes closed, like she was afraid if she opened them, the magic would end. This time, Marcus kept his hand there for a full minute. When he pulled away, Ziara could still hear. For 10 seconds, 20, 30. Then silence returned, and she opened her eyes. It lasted longer that time, she signed. Kylthar called for doctors immediately. Within the hour, the suite filled with Voreen medical experts. They scanned Ziara. They scanned Marcus. They ran tests Marcus didn't understand. The doctors spoke in their language, quick and urgent. Emma sat in a corner eating expensive alien snacks a servant had brought. She watched everything with wide eyes. Finally, the head doctor approached Kylthar. We found nothing wrong with either of them. But the human's bioelectric field shows unusual patterns. Something about the human nervous system interacts with Voreen auditory nerves. It stimulates them temporarily. Can you replicate it? Kylthar asked. No. Our technology cannot produce the same effect. Only the human touch seems to work. Marcus felt everyone's eyes on him. He wanted to leave, to take Emma home to their tiny apartment and pretend this never happened. But Ziara was looking at him with such hope. How long has she been deaf? Marcus asked quietly. Since birth, Kylthar said. 12 years. Every doctor, every treatment, every technology we tried has failed. I am wealthy. I have resources most beings cannot imagine. But I could not help my own daughter. His voice cracked slightly. Then you, a human janitor, touch her for 1 second, and she hears. Marcus understood grief. He understood helplessness. He saw it now in this powerful alien's eyes. The same look he saw in the mirror after Sarah died. I'm sorry, Marcus said. I know what it's like to not be able to help your kid. Kylthar studied him. You have a daughter. Emma, she's 8. She's got some learning challenges. Words get mixed up in her head sometimes. Kids at school used to tease her. Marcus glanced at Emma. I learned sign language 2 years ago. Another parent's kid was deaf. Thought it might help Emma learn in a different way. Turns out it did. You are more than a janitor. Used to be an audio engineer, but life happens. Now I clean floors. It's honest work. Something shifted in Kylthar's expression. Not quite respect, but recognition. One father to another. I want to hire you, Kylthar said. 3 times per week, 1 hour each time. You will come here and allow my daughter to hear. Name your price. Marcus's first instinct was to say no. This felt weird, wrong somehow. But then he thought about Emma, about the bills, about the future. I want enough to move Emma to a better school district, one with good support programs, and I want my job protected. I still need normal work. Done. I'll pay you more than that. My daughter's happiness is worth everything. They shook on it. Or rather, Marcus shook one of Kylthar's 4 hands. The visits started the next week. Marcus would come after his shift, tired and smelling like cleaning chemicals. Ziara didn't care. The moment he touched her head, her world came alive. Marcus learned what she wanted to hear. He played music on his phone. Human music. Jazz, classical, rock, electronic. Ziara's favorite was piano music. She said it sounded like rain. He read to her. Children's books at first, then poetry. His voice wasn't special, but to Ziara it was everything. Sometimes Emma came. The 2 girls couldn't talk the normal way, but they didn't need to. Emma taught Ziara hand games. Ziara showed Emma how to read Voreen picture books. Different species, different challenges, but they understood each other. Marcus got paid more in 1 week than he used to make in 2 months. Emma transferred to a better school. They moved to a bigger apartment. Life got easier. But word spreads on a space station. Other aliens started approaching Marcus, in hallways, at the market, outside his apartment. A Trellick businessman offered him money to help his son who couldn't walk. A Zafani mother begged him to touch her daughter who had chronic pain. More came every day. Some offered money. Some offered threats. Please, my child suffers. Humans can heal, yes? Touch him. Make him better. Marcus tried to explain. I don't know if I can help anyone else. It just worked with Ziara. I'm not a healer. They didn't believe him, or they didn't care. One night, Marcus didn't come home from work. Emma waited at their apartment with the neighbor watching her. An hour passed, then 2, then 4. Emma started crying. Something's wrong. Dad always comes home. Kael'thar's private security got the alert. The wealthy Voreen had been monitoring Marcus's safety, though Marcus didn't know it. When Marcus's tracking chip went dark, alarms went off. Kael'thar mobilized his people immediately. This wasn't about business. This was personal. They found Marcus 6 hours later in an abandoned storage facility on the station's lower levels. 3 rival corporate agents had taken him. They worked for Draken Corporation, a competitor of Kael'thar's empire. Their chairman had a son born with a degenerative nerve condition. They wanted Marcus to fix him. Marcus had refused. They had beaten him. Not badly, but enough to make their point. When Kael'thar's security burst through the door, the kidnappers barely had time to reach for weapons. The fight was short and brutal. Kael'thar himself came, which surprised his own guards. Important aliens didn't do their own rescues. But Kael'thar carried Marcus out personally. I'm sorry, Marcus mumbled through split lips. I couldn't help their kid. I don't even know if I can. They wouldn't listen. This is my fault. I should have protected you better. They took Marcus to a private medical facility. Emma rushed in, threw herself at her father, sobbing. Ziara came too. She touched Marcus's hand, wishing she could heal him the way he healed her. The doctor treated Marcus's injuries. Nothing serious. Bruises, cuts, fear. I want to quit, Marcus said when they were alone. This is too dangerous. Emma needs me. I can't risk leaving her alone. Kael'thar nodded slowly. I understand. You have a gift, but you also have a duty to your daughter. That comes first. What about Ziara? I kept her isolated to protect her. But I was really protecting myself from seeing her pain. You showed me something important. My daughter needed connection, not just protection. You gave her that. But I won't let it cost you everything. Marcus looked at his hands. Normal human hands. Nothing special about them. But somehow they had changed everything. Research teams want to study you, Kael'thar continued. The Galactic Medical Council is demanding access. They want to know why humans can do this. Humans? You mean all of us? They believe so. You might not be unique, just the first one discovered. That night, Marcus lay in a hospital bed. Emma asleep in a chair beside him. He stared at the ceiling and wondered what he had started. Somewhere in the station, scientists were running tests. Politicians were having emergency meetings. And humans, thousands of them working on Zenith Station, had no idea their lives were about to change forever. All because a janitor touched a deaf girl's head and made her hear. 2 weeks after the kidnapping, Marcus still visited Ziara. But everything had changed. Now he had bodyguards. Armed aliens followed him everywhere. It made him uncomfortable, but Kael'thar insisted. The sessions continued in Kael'thar's private suite. Ziara would sit, close her eyes, and Marcus would rest his hand on her head. For 1 hour, she could hear the world. They made the most of it. Emma came to every session now. Marcus didn't trust leaving her anywhere else. The 2 girls had become real friends. They sat together drawing pictures while music played. Ziara would describe what she heard. Emma would describe what she imagined sounds looked like. "I think piano music looks like silver rain," Emma said. "It sounds like it too," Ziara signed back, her translator speaking the words. But outside that quiet room, chaos was building. The Galactic Medical Council had confirmed it. All humans carried similar bioelectric signatures. Tests on 50 human volunteers showed the same patterns. Not all humans could help every species, but each human seemed to interact with certain alien physiologies in beneficial ways. Humans reduced pain in Trellick patients. They calmed anxiety in Zafani children. They improved nerve function in Voreen, motor control in Drexians, and healing rates in half a dozen other species. Humanity wasn't primitive at all. They were medically unique in the entire galaxy. The news spread like fire. Earth's government received thousands of requests for human medical workers. Space stations wanted to hire humans for hospitals. Wealthy aliens offered fortunes for private human healers. Overnight, humans went from labor class to the most valuable beings in the galaxy. Not everyone was happy about it. The Galactic Congress held emergency sessions. Some representatives argued for human protection and equal rights. Others saw humans as a resource to control. A few feared that elevating humans would destroy thousands of years of social order. On Zenith Station, tensions rose. Some aliens treated humans with new respect. Others resented them. Fights broke out. Human workers got harassed. Some got attacked. Security struggled to maintain order. Marcus watched it all from Kael'thar's tower. Safe, but guilty. This was his fault somehow. His simple act of kindness had cracked the galaxy open. "You look troubled," Kael'thar said one evening. They sat in his private office after Ziara's session. The girls were in the next room, playing some game on Ziara's tablet. "People are getting hurt because of me," Marcus said. "No, they're getting hurt because the galaxy is changing. Change is always painful, but it was necessary." Kael'thar poured 2 glasses of something that smelled like expensive whiskey. He offered one to Marcus. "My people have ruled through wealth and influence for centuries. We believed we were superior. But my daughter taught me that power means nothing if you cannot help those you love." Marcus sipped the drink. It burned. "What happens now?" "I'm speaking at the Congress next week, arguing for human protection laws and equal status." "You? But won't that hurt your business?" "Probably. Many of my partners are not happy about humans rising in status. But my daughter can hear because of a human janitor who showed her kindness. I owe your entire species a debt." Before Marcus could respond, alarms blared throughout the tower. Kael'thar's security chief burst into the room. "Sir, we have a situation. Extremist group attacking level 12. They're targeting humans and anyone supporting human equality. Multiple casualties. Evacuate the tower. Get my daughter to the secure bunker." "Sir, the girls are gone." Kael'thar went completely still. "What?" "They were in the recreation room. Security checked 5 minutes ago. Now they're gone. We're reviewing footage." Marcus was already running, Kael'thar right behind him. They reached the security center where screens showed multiple camera feeds. "There," a guard said, pointing. "Service corridor 3 minutes ago." The footage showed Emma and Ziara sneaking through a maintenance tunnel. Emma was leading, looking at something on her tablet. "Where does that corridor go?" Marcus demanded. "Dozens of places. It's the old maintenance system. Why would they go there?" Marcus grabbed the guard's tablet, pulling up the station map. He traced the path Emma would take if she was following her favorite route. She liked shortcuts. She knew the station from all those nights coming to work with him. "Level 12, Marcus said, his blood going cold. "The night market. Emma wanted to show Ziara her favorite food stall." "Level 12 is where the attack is happening," Kael'thar said quietly. They ran. Kael'thar's security mobilized. Armed teams rushed toward level 12. But the station was huge, and the maintenance tunnels were a maze. The girls had a head start. Marcus and Kael'thar took a private transport, racing through the station. Other transports were fleeing in the opposite direction. People running from the violence. They reached Level 12's market sector. Smoke filled the air. Emergency lights flashed. Security drones flew overhead. Bodies lay on the ground, some moving, some not. A group of extremists had barricaded themselves in the market center. They wore masks and carried weapons. Their spokesperson was broadcasting a message on all frequencies. Humans are a plague. They disrupt the natural order. They must be contained or eliminated. Marcus felt sick. This was his fault. All his fault. "We need to find the girls," Kael'thar said. His voice was steady, but his hands trembled. All 4 of them. They split up, each with a security team. Marcus searched through the chaos, calling Emma's name. Smoke burned his lungs. The sound of weapons fire echoed through the corridors. Then he heard it. A child's scream. He ran toward the sound, through a broken storefront, into a back area that had partially collapsed. And there they were. Emma and Ziara huddled in a corner. A piece of ceiling had fallen, blocking the way they had come in. Another piece looked ready to fall any second. Emma clutched Ziara, who couldn't hear the danger around them. "Emma! Dad!" Emma's face was streaked with tears. "We're stuck! I tried to find a way out, but everything is broken!" Marcus climbed over debris, reaching his daughter. He pulled both girls into his arms. "You're okay. I've got you." Ziara was signing frantically. Her translator had been damaged. Marcus only caught pieces, scared. Sorry. Wanted to see Market. Another explosion rocked the station. The ceiling groaned. More debris fell. "We need to move. Now." Marcus looked around. The way he came in was already blocked by new debris. The ceiling was coming down, but there, a ventilation shaft. Too small for him, but the girls could fit. "Emma, you need to go through there. Take Ziara with you. I can't leave you." "You have to. Follow the shaft to the main corridor. My security team is there. Tell them where I am." "Dad, no!" The ceiling creaked. A chunk of metal fell inches from them. "Emma, listen to me. Ziara needs you. She can't hear. She needs you to guide her. Be brave, sweetie, like Mom was brave." Emma's face crumpled, but she nodded. She took Ziara's hand and pulled her toward the shaft. Marcus boosted them up, watched them crawl into the darkness. Then the ceiling came down. Marcus dove to the side, but not fast enough. Something heavy hit his leg. Pain exploded through him. He was pinned, trapped under debris. He could hear the sounds of fighting outside. The extremists were still out there. His daughter was crawling through a ventilation shaft toward them. He tried to move, couldn't. The weight was too much. Through the pain, Marcus called out on his communicator. "Emma's in the ventilation system, heading toward the main corridor. Someone find her. Protect her." Kael'thar's voice came back. "Where are you?" "Trapped. But get the girls. That's all that matters." "I'm coming for you." "No. Get Emma and Ziara first. Please." Silence. Then, "I promise." Marcus lay there in the dark, listening to the chaos above. He thought about Sarah, about how much he missed her, about whether Emma would be okay without him. Then he heard new sounds. Scraping. Movement. Someone was digging through the debris. "Hang on." It was Kael'thar's voice. "I told you to get the girls." "My security has them. They're safe. Now shut up and let me save your life. You saved my daughter. I can at least do this." Together with his guards, Kael'thar lifted the debris. Strong arms pulled Marcus free. His leg was badly injured, but he was alive. They carried him out of the collapsed building. Emergency medical teams were everywhere now. Station security had contained the extremists. The violence was ending. Emma ran to him, Ziara right behind her. Both girls were dirty and scared but unhurt. "I did it, Dad. I got us out. Ziara was so brave. She couldn't hear anything, but she trusted me." Marcus held his daughter, ignoring the pain in his leg. Ziara joined the hug, all of them holding on to each other. Kael'thar stood nearby, watching, two fathers who had almost lost everything. "This is just the beginning," Kael'thar said quietly. "The galaxy is changing. It will get worse before it gets better." Marcus nodded. He knew it was true. But looking at Emma and Ziara, two girls from different worlds who had become sisters, he also knew something else. Marcus spent 3 days in the medical center. His leg had been crushed, but alien medicine worked faster than human doctors. They had him walking again within a week, though with a limp that would probably stay forever. Emma never left his side. Neither did Ziara. The two girls set up camp in his hospital room, doing homework, playing games, and keeping him company. Kael'thar visited every day, sometimes staying for hours. The galaxy outside kept spinning. The attack on Level 12 had killed 17 people, including 5 humans. The extremist group was captured, but they weren't alone. Similar groups existed on dozens of stations and planets. They called themselves the Order of Natural Hierarchy. They wanted things to stay the way they were, with humans at the bottom. But the attack had backfired. Instead of scaring people, it made them angry. Moderate aliens who had been unsure about human equality now supported it. No child should be hunted for what they were born as. No species should be killed for having a gift. The Galactic Congress announced an emergency session. Every major species would send representatives. They would vote on the Human Protection Act and whether to grant humans equal status in galactic society. Kael'thar was chosen to speak for the pro-human side. He asked Marcus to come with him. "Me? I'm nobody. Just a janitor. You are the human who started all this. Your voice matters. I don't want to be famous. I just want to take care of Emma." Kael'thar nodded. "I understand. But sometimes we don't get to choose our role in history. Sometimes history chooses us." Marcus thought about that. He thought about Sarah, who had always told him that kindness mattered more than success. He thought about Emma and Ziara, and the friendship that shouldn't exist according to the old rules. "Okay, I'll come. But Emma comes too." "Of course." The Congress met on Central Station, the capital of galactic government. It was massive, 10 times the size of Zenith Station. Ships from 100 worlds docked at its ports. The building where Congress met was ancient, built thousands of years ago when the galaxy first united. Marcus had never felt so out of place. He wore his nicest clothes, which were still cheap compared to what everyone else wore. Emma held his hand tightly. Ziara walked beside them, with Kael'thar leading the way. The Congress chamber was enormous. Hundreds of aliens filled the seats, representing their worlds and species. In the center was a platform where speakers stood. The session began with formal procedures Marcus didn't understand. Different representatives spoke about laws and treaties. Then they got to the main issue. The head of the Order of Natural Hierarchy spoke first. He was a Drexian, tall and armored, with a voice like grinding metal. "For 10,000 years, our galaxy has known peace through order. Each species has its place. This is natural. This is correct. Now humans threaten this order. They are not superior. They are not magical. They simply have a biological quirk. We should use this quirk, yes, but we must not let it disrupt society. Humans should be regulated, controlled, compensated fairly for their service, but not elevated. To do so risks chaos." Many in the chamber nodded. Marcus felt his stomach sink. Then Kael'thar approached the platform. His 4 arms hung at his sides. His voice was steady and clear. "I am Kael'thar, of the Voreen Empire. I control significant commerce in this galaxy. I have wealth, power, and influence. By your definition, I am at the top of the natural order." He paused. "My daughter was born deaf. For 12 years, I used all my resources to help her. I hired the best doctors. I bought the most advanced technology. I would have paid anything, done anything, to give her the gift of sound. And I failed." The chamber was silent now. Then a human touched her, a janitor, a single father working night shifts to feed his daughter. He touched my child's head, not knowing what would happen, simply trying to help a lost, scared girl. And she heard. For the first time in her life, my daughter heard. Kael'thar's voice grew stronger. This human is not rich. He is not powerful. By your natural order, he is below me in every way. But he gave my daughter something I could not. He gave her joy. He gave her hope. And he asked for nothing in return. He looked directly at the Order representative. You call humans a biological quirk. You want to use them while keeping them beneath you. But I have learned something. My daughter taught me. Her human friend taught me. True value is not in wealth or power or where you stand in some imaginary hierarchy. True value is in what you give to others. Murmurs spread through the chamber, some approving, some angry. The Order speaks of chaos, Kael'thar continued, but there is already chaos. Violence against humans has increased 500% in the last month. Humans are being kidnapped, forced to provide healing against their will. Some have died. This is the chaos of holding on to an unjust system. Change is coming whether we vote for it or not. The only question is whether we guide that change with wisdom and compassion, or let it tear us apart. Kael'thar stepped back. Then he gestured to Marcus. I would like the chamber to hear from Marcus Chen, the human janitor who changed everything. Marcus's heart pounded. He hadn't prepared a speech. He barely understood galactic politics. But he walked to the platform anyway, Emma beside him. He looked out at hundreds of alien faces, all watching him, judging him. I'm not good at speeches, Marcus began. His voice sounded small in the huge chamber. I'm not smart like Kael'thar. I never finished college. I clean floors for a living. That's what I am. He took a breath. But I'm also a father. And 3 years ago I lost my wife. The grief almost killed me. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. Didn't care about anything except making sure my daughter had food and a place to sleep. Everything else was just going through the motions. Emma squeezed his hand. He squeezed back. Then one night I found a lost girl. She was scared. She couldn't hear. I didn't think about species or social order or any of that. I just saw a kid who needed help. So I helped her. That's all. Marcus looked at the Order representative. You want to regulate us, control us, use us. But here's the thing. Humans have been used before. Back on Earth, we used each other. Slavery, genocide, wars. We know what it looks like when one group decides another group is lesser, and we know how that ends. In blood and shame. His voice grew steadier. You can vote to keep us down. You can vote to use us like tools. But you can't stop what's already started. Because humans, we're stubborn. We survived ice ages and plagues and our own worst impulses. We'll survive this too. And we'll keep doing what we do best. Being kind. Helping where we can. Making friends with deaf alien girls who just want to hear music. He turned to leave, then stopped. One more thing. My daughter Emma has learning challenges. Words get mixed up in her head. Kids used to tease her, call her stupid. But she's not stupid. She's brilliant in ways that don't fit your tests. She saved Ziara's life because she's good at solving problems differently. She's my hero. And if this galaxy can't see value in all kinds of people in all kinds of minds, then maybe it deserves the chaos that's coming. Marcus walked back to his seat. The chamber erupted in noise. Some aliens were shouting. Others were on their feet, all their limbs gesturing wildly. Emma looked up at him. Did you just threaten the entire galaxy, Dad? I think I did, yeah. Mom would be proud. The vote took 3 hours. Marcus waited with Kael'thar and the girls in a private room. No one knew which way it would go. Finally, they were called back. The chamber was tense. The vote counter approached the central podium. The Galactic Congress has voted on the Human Protection and Equality Act. The votes have been counted and verified. Marcus held his breath. The act passes by a margin of 62%, effective immediately. Humans are granted full species status with all rights and protections thereof. Any abuse, kidnapping, or forced service of humans is now a Class 1 crime. Earth and all human colonies are placed under direct Congress protection. The chamber exploded again. Some aliens celebrating, others walking out in protest. Marcus sat down hard. It was done. Everything had changed. Kael'thar put a hand on his shoulder. You did it. We did it. All of us. Ziara and Emma were hugging, jumping up and down. Two girls who had become friends despite everything saying they shouldn't be. That night, news spread across the galaxy. The human question was settled. A new era had begun. But Marcus knew this was just the start. Laws were one thing. Changing hearts and minds was another. There would be more violence, more resistance, more pain. But looking at his daughter, smiling for the first time in months, he felt something he hadn't felt since Sarah died. Hope. The galaxy was changing, and maybe, just maybe, humans could help make it better. 6 months later, Marcus stood in his new office and still couldn't believe it was real. Floor-to-ceiling windows showed Zenith Station stretching out below. His desk was made of some alien wood that cost more than his old apartment. Degrees and certificates hung on the wall, even though he'd never finished college. Honorary titles from universities across the galaxy, all because he touched a girl's head and made her hear. Dr. Chen, your first appointment is here, his assistant said through the intercom. Dr. Chen? That still felt weird. He wasn't a real doctor. He just ran a place where real doctors worked. The Human Therapeutic Institute had opened 3 months ago. 30 floors in Zenith Station's medical district. Hundreds of human volunteers who wanted to help alien patients. Doctors, researchers, therapists, all working together to understand how human biology interacted with other species. Marcus was the director. Not because he was qualified, but because he was first, because people trusted him. He still couldn't believe they'd given him the job. His first appointment walked in, a Trellick mother with her son. The boy was small, his shell cracked in places, a degenerative condition that caused constant pain. Thank you for seeing us, the mother said. Her translator made her voice sound hopeful. We've been on the waiting list for 2 months. I'm glad we could fit you in. This is Dr. Sarah Kim. She'll be working with your son. A human doctor, young and confident, knelt beside the boy. Hey there, buddy. I'm going to touch your shell, okay? Some kids say it feels warm. Others say it tickles. Tell me how it feels for you. The boy nodded nervously. Dr. Kim placed both hands on his shell. After a moment, the boy's eyes widened. It doesn't hurt. The pain is going away. His mother made a sound that the translator couldn't interpret, but Marcus recognized it anyway. Relief, joy, gratitude. Sessions like this happen dozens of times a day now. Humans helping aliens, building trust, building bridges. After the appointment, Marcus walked through the institute. Every floor was busy. Research labs studying bioelectric fields. Training rooms where humans learned proper techniques. Therapy rooms where aliens came for treatment. In the cafeteria, humans and aliens ate lunch together. Talking, laughing, sharing food from different worlds. 6 months ago, most humans on the station ate in separate areas. Now they mixed freely. Things weren't perfect. The order of natural hierarchy still existed, smaller but still active. There had been 3 more attacks in the last 6 months, but they were losing. Most of the galaxy had accepted the change. Some even embraced it. Marcus took the transport to level 47, where he still kept his old apartment. He couldn't bring himself to move, even though he could afford a place in the executive towers now. Emma was home from school doing homework at the kitchen table. She was doing better. The new school had good support programs. Her grades were improving. She'd made friends, both human and alien. How was your day? Marcus asked. Good. We dissected a zaffani flower in biology. It was gross. How was yours? Busy. Helped a Trellick kid with chronic pain. Cool. Emma didn't look up from her homework, but she was smiling. Normal. This was their normal now. Marcus's communicator buzzed. A message from Kael'thar. Dinner tonight? Ziara insists. Marcus smiled and typed back. We'll be there. That evening, they took the transport to Kael'thar's tower. The security still checked them, but they waved Marcus and Emma through immediately now. Regular visitors. Ziara was waiting in the entrance. The moment she saw Emma, she rushed over. The two girls hugged and immediately started signing to each other. Ziara could hear during her regular sessions, but she'd learned sign language anyway. She said it was more intimate than talking. Emma had taught her that. Kael'thar greeted Marcus with the Voreen gesture of respect. All four arms crossed over his chest. Welcome, my friend. Thanks for having us. Dinner was a mix of human and Voreen food. They sat at a large table, sharing stories about their day. Emma told them about the flower dissection. Ziara talked about her music lessons. She was learning to play an instrument now, something like a violin but with more strings. She's very talented, Kael'thar said proudly. Her teacher says she has natural ability. Because she spent 12 years listening to the world differently, Marcus said. She understands music in ways hearing people don't. After dinner, Kael'thar and Marcus sat on the balcony while the girls played inside. The station spread out below them. Millions of lights representing millions of lives. I spoke to the Earth ambassador today, Kael'thar said. They want to build 5 more institutes like yours. 1 on Earth, 4 on major colony worlds. That's good. We're turning people away every day. The waiting list is too long. They want you to oversee all of them, be the director of the entire program. Marcus shook his head. No, I'm barely keeping up with 1 institute. I'm not qualified for more. You keep saying you're not qualified, but you are the most qualified human for this job. Not because of education, but because you understand something others don't. You understand that this gift we have comes with responsibility, not just to heal, but to do it right, with dignity and consent. Marcus looked at his hands, the same hands that used to push a mop. Now they signed papers that affected millions of people. Sometimes I miss cleaning floors, he admitted. It was simple, straightforward, clean the mess, move on. You can go back to that if you want. No one would blame you. Yeah, but Emma is happy, really happy, and Ziara got to hear music. And that Trellick kid today stopped hurting. How do I walk away from that? Kael'thar smiled. You don't. Because you are not just a janitor. You never were. You are a healer, a bridge builder, a father who taught the galaxy that kindness matters more than status. They sat in comfortable silence, watching the station live its life below. A week later, the Institute hosted a special event, a concert featuring Ziara and 50 other alien children who had been helped by human therapy. Some had regained hearing like Ziara. Others had reduced pain, better mobility, improved neural function. The auditorium was packed. Thousands came to watch, representatives from dozens of worlds, media broadcasting to billions across the galaxy. Backstage, Ziara was nervous. Marcus knelt beside her, the way he had that first night 6 months ago. You're going to be amazing, he signed. What if I make mistakes? Then you'll make mistakes. But you'll make them while doing something you love. That's what matters. Emma stood next to them. You've got this. I believe in you. Ziara took a deep breath and nodded. The concert began. Alien instruments mixed with human ones. Music from 100 worlds blending together. And Ziara, the deaf girl who learned to hear, played her violin-like instrument with joy and passion. Marcus watched from the wings. Kael'thar stood beside him, all four arms wrapped around himself in the Voreen gesture of overwhelming emotion. "Thank you," Kael'thar whispered, "for everything. I just touched her head. You did the hard part. You chose to change. You gave me a reason to change. You showed me that power means nothing if we don't use it to help others." The concert ended with all the children playing together. Different species, different abilities, all making something beautiful. The audience stood and cheered. Some aliens had tears in their eyes. Others made sounds of joy in their own languages. Emma grabbed Marcus's hand. "Dad, that was awesome." "Yeah, it really was." After the concert, there was a ceremony. Awards were given to humans who had volunteered at the Institute, speeches about progress and hope. Marcus had to give a speech too. He kept it short. "6 months ago, I was just a janitor trying to help a lost kid. Today, I'm standing here watching that kid perform music for the galaxy. That's what can happen when we choose kindness over fear. When we see each other as people instead of categories. I'm proud to be human. Not because we have some special biology, but because we keep trying to do better. We keep reaching out, even when it's scary. That's what makes us human. That's what makes us special." More applause. More celebration. Late that night, after everyone had gone home, Marcus and Emma walked through the empty institute. Their footsteps echoed in the quiet halls. "Do you miss the old days?" Emma asked. "When it was just us?" Marcus thought about it. The tiny apartment, the night shifts, the constant worry about money and Emma's future, the loneliness. "Sometimes," he admitted, "but I like this better. I like helping people. I like watching you be happy. I like having Ziara as a friend." "Me too, sweetie." They reached the main atrium. A large window showed the station outside, ships coming and going, people living their lives, humans and aliens working together, building something new. Emma leaned against her father. "Mom would be proud of you." Marcus felt tears sting his eyes. "I hope so." "She would. You made the galaxy better." "We made it better. All of us together." Marcus thought about the path that led him here, the grief and loss, the night shifts and struggle, the moment he knelt beside a scared deaf girl and offered simple kindness. He thought about how one small act, done without expectation or reward, had rippled outward and changed everything. The galaxy was different now, not perfect, but better. Humans had their place, respected and valued, laws protected them, opportunities opened up, but more than that, people were learning. Aliens were learning that humans weren't lesser. Humans were learning that they had gifts worth sharing, and it all started because a janitor touched a girl's ears and made her hear. Emma yawned. "Can we go home now?" "Yeah, let's go home." They left the institute, taking the transport back to their old apartment. Marcus still had the key to the executive tower penthouse Kael'thar had offered him, but this was home. This was where they belonged. As Emma got ready for bed, Marcus stood at the window looking at the station. Somewhere out there, children were sleeping easier because humans had helped them. Families were less afraid. The future looked a little brighter. "Dad?" Emma called from her room. "Yeah? I love you." "I love you too, Em." Marcus smiled. Tomorrow he'd go back to work. More patients to help, more bridges to build, more small acts of kindness that might ripple outward in ways he couldn't predict. But tonight, he was just a father tucking in his daughter. And that was enough. That was everything. Some changes were worth fighting for.